My buddy Tyler Pack from Pyramid up there.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. How you doing today, Bo?
I'm good, brother.
I finally got my driveway cleared, my water back on, so I'm good to go.
Yeah, we've been locked in for the entire weekend, and so we're attempting now to be able to uh I'm getting out tonight and I'm driving up to Greenbrier County and I'm gonna attempt to get out and meet with some people up that way. Yeah, we were stuck in all weekend.
Yeah, we pretty much stayed in all weekend too. We they closed the office today and the Logan County Courthouse and everything's closed.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is one of my well-attended ones or not. Let me check something. It's usually pretty good attended, but I don't have a chairperson for this county or this reentry pack. So council.
My big goal here was to try to come up with some ideas, jumping on today, of some places to stop up around Greenbrier County, which obviously while I'm up there, I'm going to hit my usual places such as parole,
Right.
probation, the hospitals, day report centers. I just didn't know if there was any other places up there. Seneca is one I was going to stop at, and then see if there was any other suggestions of places to stop around that area.
Aaron,
Tyler,
ain't
when are
you up
you
that
doing
way?
that?
What is it?
When are you doing that?
So my plan originally, before we got snowed in, I had made my routing plan. I was going to come up last night, but I couldn't get out of the driveway. So I'm leaving
Sure.
today, and I'm heading up tonight. I'm going to stay overnight, and then I'll be there all day tomorrow.
Are you just doing Greenbrier or are you coming up to Pocahontas?
I can potentially get up to Pocahontas too.
Okay.
Did you
Um,
have something in mind?
well, I cover Pocahontas for Jobs and Hope.
Okay.
Um, and in terms of like people that are you just like doing an unannounced show up or have you like been in contact with folks?
This is a little unannounced. I'd had plans to come up prior. Things had just changed around, so this is a little last minute.
Okay. Um, I would check with the parole office to make sure they're there
Sure.
since they have such a like a wide coverage area. Um, and Lena, their like secretary, has been able to like set up stuff where they've had like the POs in from the region there.
Oh,
Um,
really?
and yeah, and so she's in that main office there. I don't know anything about their day report. Seneca, have you connected with their QRT
Yes, so
person?
I've spoke with in the past the QRT and the DRC, the Day Report Center.
Okay. And are you going to Crosswinds when you say Seneca, or where are you going?
Yes.
Okay. So they have a QRT as well as the crisis response team. And sometimes there's an overlap there. Um,
Okay.
do you have a contact or connection there on the crisis response team?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. We can help you out with that as
That would be
well.
great.
And then um what about anybody from the osteopath school?
What is that?
The the osteopath school, the med school.
No, I haven't spoke with anyone there.
So they had a peer, they have like a whole community engagement kind of division and a peer. She used to be the former chair of this meeting. Um, so you might want to see about some of that availability.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, Pocahontas County has a day report. Thursdays are the big day up there, specifically in the afternoon after drug court, because that's when they do the weekly peer recovery AANA meeting.
Gotcha.
That's where I'm going to be on Thursday, is at their day report. Um, so that would be kind of
A
the
good
issue,
spot to be.
or the issue or limitation is just same thing of like, unfortunately, these aren't places you can just like show up and somebody's there because staffing is so lean.
Sure.
Um, so that's we want to make sure you don't run into that.
Well, that's a given, especially with me kind of shooting last second on this. One thing I always do
Yeah.
is I make it a point to have some scheduled meetings regardless of where I go. And then on top
Uh,
of that, I'll always do some like cold call visits.
yeah.
And if we hit it, we do. If we don't, we don't.
Mhm.
But that gives me an opportunity if I do get in front of somebody to just take that time to be like, hey, who else would
Yeah.
you recommend me to be able to swing through and talk to? Um, I've been spread all over my area, which is a little over three-quarters of the state.
Sure.
And I really want to make time to be able to come up to Greenbrier, Pocahontas, and that's just one that I'm attempting to make a priority. And
Uh,
even if this is a quick little stop, then I want to make sure that I got something scheduled at the very beginning of January.
sure. And then are you dipping down to Monroe at all?
So I hit Monroe when I hit Mercer. I hit Mercer, Monroe, and McDowell around the same times.
Okay.
So I've hit Monroe a pretty decent amount.
Okay. Um, yeah. Like I said, Thursday's if you want like larger group, Thursday is the biggest day of like staff and participants and just general community to
Yeah,
be at the day report in Marlinton. I'd want to make sure that you talk to Seneca's QRT as well as their crisis
yeah,
team. And then the other thing would be Pocahontas Memorial Hospital.
for sure.
Um, because they've it's a hospital that there's no pride in sending people out because they have to send so many people out for so many things. And
Right.
more resources are appreciated to
Absolutely.
yeah,
And with Pyramid, the one thing that I love, along with so many, is the fact that we provide those our private transportation services so we can come pick
yeah.
clients up anywhere in the state.
Um so I would suggest that. Are you going anywhere in White Sulphur Springs? Um
I don't have that planned yet.
okay.
Did you
Um
have somewhere in mind?
uh I I don't. Um but that's the kind of other um because not everything's Lewisburg, right? And
Sure.
wanting to know if it's like, okay, are you doing like a Rennick, Raynell, White Sulphur Springs, Lewisburg, and obviously Ronceburg for day report.
Yeah,
So to kind of like,
where it's so wide up there, I definitely want to take a few days when I'm coming up next time. The weather just threw a
mhm.
whole curveball in my routing plan. Not that it's not able to be changed,
Yeah,
and I can't alter it, but I've got some like locked in appointments and in services for Thursday already where I've got to get back, and I just want to make a point to get up
yeah,
there and spend a day at minimum. But that is the thing that whenever I do come up early January, I want to make sure that I can hit everywhere in Greenbrier County,
okay.
Greenbrier
Um,
and Pocahontas.
well, like I said, the hospital crisis response QRT, double check with um parole to make sure that they're there. Um,
Sure.
and yeah, that would be my Um, I guess kind of best of advice, but I don't cover Greenbrier for Jobs and Hope, so I don't know. I don't
Well,
have
I
the
really appreciate
there
you, man.
like I do otherwise. Um, yeah. Are you coming up to Berkeley anytime soon? For
So
any
I've
just
got Will and
yeah, no,
so
but just curious if you're back up here at all.
So I come usually quarterly. I will be back up in January on
Okay.
so we have a meeting that we meet in Maryland for our company. I'll
Yep.
be up there on the 26th, and then the 20, I would have to check, but it's like the next 2 days I'm gonna spend up there in Berkeley for sure.
Good deal. 'Cause that's where I live. But I just cover Pocahontas. So that's why we join these. Okay. Well, um, do you have my email?
Will you give it to me just
I'll put it in the
in
chat
case?
now.
Perfect.
If you wanted to just have that. Um,
Yeah, 100%.
And Tyler, if you like would ever need anybody's emails, I have all of the chats for everything here in on the Zoom calls.
Perfect. Yeah, that would be awesome.
okay. Um, yeah. Okay.
I really, really appreciate you.
We're out here.
I know that's
Uh,
Maybe
right.
Tyler, if you could, maybe introduce yourself. I don't know if everybody knows who you are and what you do.
That's what I was going to
So
say because I've met Aaron at Alderson, and I've met the others, but I do not know who Tyler is, and I'm curious.
So, first of all, it's a pleasure to meet everybody here. My name is Tyler Pack. I'm the community engagement specialist for Pyramid Healthcare. Pyramid Healthcare is a substance use disorder dual diagnosis facility that we have. Well, we have two facilities. We're a program located in Berkeley County. We have one facility in Kearneysville and one in Hedgesville. Our facility, well, with the program in general, we are able to, excuse me, take and accept both males and females. We do medicated detox with our 3.7. We do residential treatment with our 3.5 for males and females. And we also have 3.1 step down long term um, levels of care at Pyramid Healthcare. Uh, as I was saying before, one of the amazing things that we provide is we provide private statewide transportation services to any who's looking to come into treatment, so we can come and pick them up. Our goal to pick them up is always same day, but just to be transparent, I always would recommend that we shoot for next morning. Never have to wait any longer than a day or a few hours. Um, with Pyramid Healthcare, we originated in 1999. We we had celebrated our 26-year anniversary, and we are now in 10 states with over 100 locations. So we've been in West Virginia for a little over 3 years now. And as we've spread, and I've worked as the community engagement specialist for Pyramid, I've just watched so much growth take place, and it's just been an amazing adventure to be a part of this. It's truly a program that I stand behind, and we were able to take and work with so many different sets of clients. But where we are OFLAC certified, we and CARF accredited, with our 3.7 and our full clinical staff, we're really able to take care of a lot of the more acuity clients. We came into West Virginia wanting to be a facility to be able to provide a lot of value to our clients and really focus in on the Medicaid clients as well. So we do take all forms of Medicaid. We take all forms of commercial insurances as well. And we are a network with multiple different commercial insurances. And we do have sometimes some grant funding available for those clients who are uninsured or have Medicare as well.
Thanks, Tyler.
Absolutely.
Nicole, you want to give us a who you are?
Well, I'm working for under the Proud Grant for Workforce West Virginia. They're saying that our grant will run till September 27. So hopefully that's true. I work at the halfway house in Jefferson, and I also have a coworker at that location. Then we have a coworker at the halfway house in Clarksburg. They just recently interviewed people. They're trying to put a second person up there. Um, right now, our numbers, I think the latest was 118 that we've served. Um, so then my current caseload's 46 active and one in follow up. So we're getting out there. We're helping find jobs, do resumes, housing, just pretty much anything that comes up when they're at the halfway house. And then once they leave the halfway house, we still follow up with them, still continue to try to get them into not just any job, but a job that could be, career lead to, be able to survive out there by themselves. Once they get to a place where we feel confident that they're doing good, we actually exit them from the program, but then they stay and follow up with us for about another year. So always when I meet somebody new, I usually say I'm the second mom you didn't know you needed. So we just kind of stay with them through the whole process.
Tyler, Nicole pretty much does what I do, but on a bigger scale. But she's more on the federal side of the than in state side.
I always
Nice.
forget that downside of our program, that it's only for federal inmates.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. And it's a pleasure to meet you, Nicole.
Aaliyah,
Hello. So, I work for Disability Rights of West Virginia. We are the West Virginia State Protection Advocacy Agency for the residents of West Virginia. Are you familiar with Disability Rights of West Virginia at all, Tyler?
Hey.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Nicole and Aaron are also pretty familiar with us. Um, so my role is actually what's called CAP and PABS. So my role is people who are looking for employment that have a disability.
Gotcha.
To be eligible, with CAP, they have to be a client of Division of Rehab Services. And my role is as that advocate is if they're having issues getting services through DRS. That's when they call us, it gets put on my desk, and then I'm calling the client, I'm calling DRS, and I'm figuring out where the problem is, and let's find a solution.
Sure.
The PABS program is specifically for beneficiaries of Social Security who have a barrier to work. And that barrier may be they've had an overpayment and they are going to, lose their benefits and they need to try to get this overpayment resolved. I can't guarantee I'll get it resolved in their favor, but I will try. But it could also be, they need an accommodation at work or they, whatever, or they need some sort of assistive technology, and I try to find resources for them to keep them working.
Sure.
I did put our website in the chat and our phone number. So if somebody were to need to call Disability Rights, they have our contact information, and they also have all the different programs that we have. All of our stuff is federally funded, so it's free of, we're not charging people for anything.
Right.
And I will, the majority of what we do is information and referral. People call us and they need help and they just don't know who to go to for help. And if, that's the first level. The next level is they have a specific issue. They need an advocate. They need somebody to help them. And that's when it gets assigned to an advocate. In very, very specific cases, it will go to the lawyer. I have no say I have no place in the process of deciding how each phone call is administered, how it's handled. Um,
Gotcha.
I will say, as far as we're not any kind of crisis or anything like that. The way, if someone were to call us, our intake committee meets every Tuesday, and they go through every single phone call and email that was received in the previous 7 days, and they
Okay.
review the information given and how to handle that. If it's to be information and referral, it gets assigned to the people that do the information referral. And then if it goes to an advocate, it gets assigned to an advocate. And then the advocate has a set number of days that we have to make contact with that client. So I tell people, if you call like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, it's going to be a week before the intake committee even reviews
Right.
your stuff. So don't wait until and we've had this happen where like a student has an IEP and the school's not following the IEP, and the people will call us like the day before the IEP meeting wanting an advocate at the IEP meeting, and it's like we can't
Sure.
move that quickly. So what I tell people is, if there are hints of a problem and you think you're going to need us, please don't wait. Give us a call, because the sooner that we get involved, the better.
That's good stuff.
You know who I am, and everybody's already heard me talk so much. So you doing good, little bro? You need anything?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I just didn't know you were a Tennessee fan.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. I'm a diehard Simpson fan, bro.
Tyler, what made you think
I,
that?
What'd you say?
I said, what made you think that?
It's lucky guess.
Well, I got the
Intuition.
mic here. I'll give a pyramid story for the folks that maybe haven't had the chance to work with you all. Um, we all do a lot of other duties as assigned, and I got a parent concern that got escalated to Charleston, and they said, we're going to handle this, but do you know of anybody? And it was a mom concerned about her adult child, who was right before a 3-day holiday weekend, and was having withdrawals from prescription medication. Nobody would prescribe him new stuff. Couldn't get in to be seen by his doctors or prescribers. And this has been an ongoing issue of trying to get him help and treatment and all that kind of stuff. So she reached out at like 8:53 in the morning and I called Will, and by 11 o'clock, he was cleared for a bed. And by noon, Pyramid had picked him up, brought him to the facility, and he began his detox. And
Yeah.
sometimes like we talk about like, we move, it's everything we do is kind of like low and slow, but when there's an opportunity to move quick, we move quick. And that was possible because, one, he was willing to go. Two, he had
Yeah.
somebody advocating for him and making that call. And then we had a facility with a responsive staff, and then there was a bed available. So it kind of takes all those things kind of being in a line to work out. But they're just to give everybody an idea of like, that was something that took one mom putting in like an inquiry on a website, me making one phone call, and he was in a detox bed 3 hours later. So
I
just
love
as
it.
a heads, and that was from October, right? It was like right before the Friday before Columbus Day weekend. So just wanted to give everybody just kind of a synopsis of like when they went and picked him up. They're the ones that evaluated his Medicaid and got that all approved and all that kind of stuff. And all it took was him being willing to go when this ride showed up. So, anywho, just wanted to share that for folks that maybe haven't had the chance to work with Pyramid before. And like I said, this was somebody that wasn't using on the street. This was just over prescribed independence using all, old school style, multiple doctors, all legally prescribed, all that kind of stuff. And it just kind of got out of hand there a little bit. And so obviously, like everything, we don't always know where everybody ended up. But yeah, 3 hours. And he was,
I love it.
yep.
And that's that's huge because I mean that to me, being 100% honest and transparent is an amazing representation of how we work. We've grown a lot, you know, in the beginning we have an amazing staff in so many different areas of what we do at Pyramid. But you know, one of my favorite when I first started, the way it was initially set up is we have an admissions team, and those girls, I mean, they're quick draw, and you know, they would help substantially. And so it got to the point where like you call me, I do a quick lead, gather some basic info, shoot it over to them, and then they do the pre-assessment. Well, we started to grow. Our census, you know, we capped out at our census eventually and we have 150 beds in total. So, I mean, we were getting more and more calls, which is pretty consistent nowadays. And so I got it to the point where, you know, Will and myself, we're now able to do the pre-assessments myself or ourselves. So whenever we get a phone call, it's as simple as giving us a call. You call, I do a quick pre-assessment. It takes no more than 10 minutes. As soon as that's done, I shoot it over to our admissions team. And our clinical staff reviews it. If everything is good to go, which it usually is, they get qualified right then and there, and then we're immediately setting up transport. It should be no longer than a 15, 20-minute interaction, and they're en route. Or our drivers have a timed pickup to be able to come pick that client up and bring them to us. And so just the fast pace of what we do, I love it. And then it makes me feel good sometimes to slow down to be able to see how fast we really are moving. We got a small
And
window, you know, when somebody's got that foot out the door, we got a real small window to strike. And when we do, we want to make sure that we can get to them as quick as possible.
yeah, I've always had good things with Pyramid. I know a lot of their staff from people that I've sent up there and everything, and
Yeah.
uh, they're really good people up all that way up there.
I love it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, nobody else has anything. Tyler, if you don't have anything else, I'll go ahead and give you back the rest of your day. Hope everybody stays warm, stay safe. Tyler, you be safe on the road out there tomorrow. Today, well, you're going up today, so you be out there safe
Yeah.
today. So,
I appreciate it. I appreciate you, brother,
yep.
as always. And I really appreciate you, Aaron, and everybody on here, especially all the information that you gave me. That's always good stuff. And, you know, next time we get the opportunity to meet, I'll let you know how everything went.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll see you guys
Bye,
next
all.
month.
Bye, guys.